The journey to Easter Island is a lesson in isolation. Even before you set foot on its soil, you feel the distance, both physical and psychological, that separates this place from the rest of the world. The anticipation builds as you realize you are heading toward one of the most remote inhabited islands on Earth, a place shrouded in legend and mystery. For hours, the plane crosses endless blue, making you realize just how remote this island is. The Pacific stretches in every direction, a vast expanse of water with no land in sight. The monotony of the ocean below is mesmerizing, and it's easy to imagine how early explorers must have felt, venturing into the unknown with only the stars to guide them. Finally, a speck appears, Rapa Nui, more than 2,000 miles from the nearest continent. It emerges from the blue like a secret revealed, a tiny dot of land that has captured the imagination of travelers, historians, and adventurers for centuries. The sense of arrival is profound. You are about to step into a world that feels almost untouched by time. As you descend, green hills, volcanic craters, and rugged coastline come into view, a world unto itself. The landscape is dramatic and raw, shaped by ancient volcanic forces and the relentless winds of the Pacific. It's a place where nature and history are intertwined, and every feature of the land seems to tell a story. The first sight of the Moai is unforgettable. These enigmatic statues carved from volcanic rock stand as silent sentinels, their faces weathered by centuries of wind and rain. For many visitors, seeing the Moai for the first time is a moment of awe, a connection to a distant past and a culture that thrived in isolation. These silent, imposing figures stand against the sky, their presence felt long before you see their faces. Their expressions are stoic, almost otherworldly, and you can't help but wonder what stories they would tell if they could speak. The Moai are more than just monuments. They are guardians of memory, watching over the island and its people. Arranged along the coast, backs to the sea, they watch over the land. Their placement is deliberate, a testament to the beliefs and traditions of the Rapa Nui people. Each statue faces inland as if protecting the island's heart, standing in silent communion with the landscape and the generations that have come and gone. Seeing them is humbling. You wonder about the hands that shaped them, and the society that raised them. The scale of the Moai, and the effort required to create and move them, speaks to a remarkable ingenuity and determination. You feel a sense of reverence not just for the statues but for the people who imagined and realized them. The island air is fresh, carried by winds from thousands of miles of ocean. There's a wildness here, a sense that you are standing at the edge of the world. The sound of waves crashing against the cliffs and the scent of salt in the air remind you of the island's isolation and its enduring connection to the sea. There's a sense of peace and mystery here. The early morning light bathes the island in gold, and the mist that lingers over the hills adds to the feeling that you have entered a place where the past is always present. It's a landscape that invites contemplation and wonder. Walking among volcanic hills, you almost hear echoes of the past. Each step takes you deeper into the island's story, where every path and crater has witnessed centuries of human endeavor and natural change. The ground beneath your feet feels ancient, and you sense the presence of those who walked here long before you. Rapa Nui is a living museum, a testament to human ingenuity and resilience. The archaeological sites scattered across the island are windows into a civilization that overcame immense challenges, adapting to their environment and leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire. Every stone and blade of grass seems to hold a secret. The land is rich with stories, some known and many still waiting to be discovered. You find yourself looking closer, searching for clues in the textures of stone and earth, feeling the weight of history in the smallest details. This first encounter sets the stage for a journey of discovery. With each new view, the island reveals more of itself, inviting you to look beyond the surface and connect with its spirit. The sense of wonder grows, and you realize that Rapa Nui is not just a destination, but an experience that will stay with you long after you leave. The Moai aren't just statues, they're the enduring spirit of a people. Their faces, carved with care and purpose, reflect the hopes, beliefs, and dreams of those who created them. They are symbols of endurance, standing tall through centuries of change. They remind us of our shared human drive to create and leave a mark on the world. In their silent watch, the Moai invite us to reflect on our own journeys, our own legacies, and the mysteries that connect us across time and distance. The remarkable story of the Moai begins with the daring Polynesian voyagers, who navigated thousands of miles across the vast Pacific Ocean using only the stars, ocean currents, and their deep knowledge of the sea. These intrepid explorers arrived on Easter Island, or Rapa Nui, around 1200 AD, settling on one of the most remote inhabited islands on Earth. The settlers, known as the Rapa Nui, brought with them a rich culture, advanced navigation skills, and a tradition of monumental art. They found an island abundant with resources, lush forests, fertile soil, and plenty of stone. Organized into powerful clans, the Rapa Nui developed a complex society. Each clan had its own territory and leaders, and together they possessed the manpower, organization, and motivation to carve and erect the Moai statues that would come to define their civilization. Skilled artisans, often working in teams, used simple yet effective stone tools to painstakingly shape the volcanic tuff found in the Rano Raraku quarry, the birthplace of nearly all Moai. Each statue, carved from a single massive block of stone, was a labor of devotion and required months, sometimes years, of careful work. The artisans paid close attention to detail, chiseling expressive faces and elongated features that made each Moai unique. The Moai were not just statues, they were believed to embody the spirits of deified ancestors. The Rapa Nui believed these figures held a supernatural force called mana, which could protect the clan, ensure prosperity, and bless the land. Carving a Moai was a sacred act, honoring lineage and maintaining a powerful connection with the past. The process united families and clans, reinforcing social bonds and shared identity. Over the centuries, the Moai evolved in both size and style. Early statues were smaller and more rounded, but as time went on, they became larger, more stylized, and increasingly ambitious in scale. This evolution reflected growing competition among clans, each striving to outdo the others by creating ever more impressive monuments to their ancestors. The era of Moai carving became the defining period of Rapa Nui culture, shaping their society, beliefs, and daily life. Creating and moving these colossal statues was an extraordinary feat of artistry and engineering, requiring ingenuity, teamwork, and a deep sense of purpose. Today, the legacy of the Moai endures, their silent stone faces still watching over Rapa Nui, shaping the island's identity and inspiring awe in all who visit. The Moai were more than just stone figures, they were revered as spiritual guardians, silent sentinels watching over the people of Rapa Nui. Their imposing presence on the landscape was a constant reminder of the island's deep connection to its ancestors and the spiritual world. It was believed that each Moai housed the mana, or spiritual energy, of a deceased chief or important ancestor. This mana was thought to protect the living, ensuring the prosperity and well-being of the clan. Carefully placed on ceremonial stone platforms called ahu, the Moai always faced inland, their gaze fixed on the villages and farmlands. This orientation symbolized their role as eternal guardians, watching over their descendants and the land they once ruled. Their presence offered a sense of security, acting as a bridge between the physical world and the spiritual realm. For the people of Rapa Nui, the Moai were a tangible link to their ancestors, embodying both memory and tradition. The size and number of Moai a clan could erect was a direct reflection of its power, influence, and prestige. Larger statues signified greater mana and higher status within the island's complex social structure. The ahu platforms themselves were sacred spaces, often serving as burial sites for the elite. These platforms were carefully constructed, sometimes containing the remains of chiefs and important community members, further enhancing the spiritual significance of the site. Rituals and ceremonies held at these ahu brought the community together, reinforcing social bonds and shared beliefs. These gatherings were essential for passing down oral traditions, honoring ancestors, and maintaining the island's cultural identity. At times, coral eyes were added to the statues, a powerful act believed to awaken the Moai and imbue them with life. With their eyes in place, the statues were said to watch over the island with renewed spiritual force. The Moai formed a protective ring around Rapa Nui, transforming the landscape into a sacred space. Their arrangement was not random but carefully planned to create a spiritual shield for the island's inhabitants. Uniquely at Ahu Akivi, the Moai face the ocean rather than the land. Some believe these statues represent the island's first explorers, gazing out to sea in eternal remembrance of their journey. Every detail of a Moai's placement and design held deep meaning, from their orientation to their size and features. These choices reflected the beliefs, values, and history of the people who created them. The Moai were more than art. They were the spiritual and social foundation of Rapa Nui, standing as timeless symbols of faith, unity, and ancestral pride. Rano Raraku volcano is the nursery of the Moai. Its soft volcanic tuff made it ideal for carving. Walking through the quarry, you see hundreds of statues in every stage of completion. Some are still attached to the bedrock, others stand half-buried on the slopes. The site is a haunting snapshot of the statue-making process. The largest Moai, El Gigante, lies unfinished. Over 21 meters tall and 270 tons, its size speaks to the ambition and competition among the Rapa Nui. The quarry reveals the marks of ancient tools and the teamwork required. Here, the human story behind the Moai comes alive. Rano Raraku is not just a quarry, it's the heart of the Moai tradition. Its creative and spiritual energy still resonates today. How the Rapa Nui moved the massive Moai remains a mystery. Oral tradition says the statues walked to their platforms, sparking debate. One theory suggests they were hauled on wooden sledges over rollers, requiring vast timber resources. Another, more recent theory shows that with ropes and teamwork, the statues could be rocked upright in a walking motion. This method matches local legends and requires fewer resources. Many statues fell along ancient roads, hinting at the risks involved. The transportation mystery highlights Rapa Nui ingenuity and problem-solving. Their achievements inspire awe even without advanced technology. By the 16th century, Moai building ended as resources dwindled and society changed. The Birdman cult emerged, shifting power from chiefs to champions in a dangerous annual competition at Orongo. Contestants risked their lives to retrieve a seabird egg from a nearby islet. The winner became the Birdman, holding spiritual and political power for a year. This new system replaced ancestor worship with dynamic leadership. Art shifted from giant statues to intricate petroglyphs of the Birdman figure. Interclan conflict led to the toppling of many Moai. By the time Europeans arrived, most statues lay face down, marking a dramatic societal transformation. Beyond the Moai, Easter Island's volcanic landscape is striking. Rolling green hills, dramatic cliffs, and turquoise waters. Anakina Beach, with its white sand and ancient ahu, is both beautiful and historic. Volcanic caves, once used for shelter and ceremonies, contain fascinating rock art. The island's isolation created a delicate ecosystem, much of it lost to human impact. Conservation efforts now aim to protect and restore native species. Rapa Nui National Park preserves both cultural and natural heritage. The island's story is a cautionary tale of ecological balance and collapse. Visitors are reminded to tread lightly and help protect this unique place. Visiting Easter Island is a privilege. Respect for Rapa Nui culture and sacred sites is essential. Never touch or climb the Moai or Ahu. Oils and pressure cause damage. Stay on marked paths and follow local guides whose knowledge brings the island's history to life. Support local businesses to benefit the community. Buy a park ticket to access archaeological sites and plan for varied weather. Take your time. Rapa Nui is best experienced slowly and thoughtfully. Learn a few local words and embrace the island's peaceful energy. Travel with respect and you'll help preserve this irreplaceable heritage. Easter Island leaves a lasting impression, challenging our understanding and inspiring wonder. The Moai's silent faces ask questions we may never fully answer, fueling our imagination. The Rapa Nui story is one of achievement, faith, struggle, and adaptation. Their resilience and creativity in isolation inspire us all. The world still holds mysteries, and Rapa Nui reminds us to stay curious. Let the island's story encourage you to explore, ask questions, and seek wonder everywhere. You don't need to cross an ocean to find marvels, just look with fresh eyes. The Moai stand as a timeless invitation to keep exploring and cherishing our beautiful, mysterious world.